Yes, people, welcome back to the Michael Talks Football channel. It has been a while since I have done a live stream. I think about almost 3 weeks now, but I've moved into a new place. The videos are coming out for the World Cup, but we have to review the last match day of the UCL, the Champions League group stage, because it was a bit of a madness at the end, especially in Group D. And we're going to break it down. We're going to also talk about Benfica. What did I tell you about Benfica? Now, I didn't think they would top the group, but my God, they are playing some incredible football. And I just have a quick message. To all you Super League people who want the Super League, how many teams dropped out that want to be part of the Super League? Let me know. Please, let me know. I'll happily wait. So all you people who want the Super League, put it in the trash because that's where it belongs. Look at the clubs who were not a part of the Super League. You look at Benfica, Napoli, and these sort of teams. Look how they do business and look how it is incredible to see. But we're going to break it down. Big up to everybody. Remember to hit the like button if you are watching a replay. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And of course, the World Cup content is coming and more and more. So stay tuned for that. And remember to check out the previews if you haven't done so already. Big up to Nicola. Big up to don't know how to pronounce that name, but big up to you. Big up to Michael Brown. Big up to Cameron, one of the members of the channel. Big up to Mario Dutra. He says, yes, of course, respect the Portuguese team we're going to talk about. Big up to Michael. Yep. Big up to Zane. And big up to Nicola. So we got 10 people in the house already. Thank you all for tuning in. If there's a bit of an echo, let me know, people. I can't really do anything about it. It's just the room I'm in, and I'm trying to sort it out because I haven't done many live streams, so let me know. And big up to Sammy. I see you as well, Sammy. So let's break down Group A. I think it was pretty much settled before the final match day, and it was obviously going to be Napoli and Liverpool. And the only way Liverpool were going to top the group if they won 4-0. And it didn't happen. So Liverpool are going to finish second. It's funny. It's funny. Liverpool lost the first match day 4-1 to Napoli and then decided, we're going to win 5 straight games. You just cannot describe this team at the moment with Liverpool. You just can't. They're like the stock market. They just go up. No, they go down, up, a little bit up. Then they go back down, and then they go a little bit back up. You just cannot explain it. So, yeah, Napoli fully deserve it. I think they have been one of the most impressive teams in the Champions League this season. An unbelievable job by Spalletti. Look at it. 20 goals they scored in 6 games. An insane number. Absolutely insane. So, big up to Spalletti's side. You look at Kivic, of course. But Kim Min-jae. This guy, I knew about him from Fenerbahce. I didn't think he was this good. I mean, he was beating Salah for pace. Huh? Salah. So, big up to Napoli. I said this already, I think a couple match day predictions show ago. They are making the semifinals. Napoli will be making the semifinals. Unless they face PSG in the round of 16, but we will talk about that in the round of 16 preview. So, Ajax go down to the Europa League. It has been a bit of a disappointing campaign, I think, by Alfred Schroeder's side. I mean, obviously, they got embarrassed by Napoli. They got embarrassed by Liverpool at home. So, there is some question marks, and I'm still not sold on Alfred Schroeder as the Ajax manager. But you have to think, people, there was just so many changes for this side. All the players leaving, all the players coming in, that it's going to take time to get the chemistry, to get the cohesion. And I think just defensively, they have to be a lot better. And I think it's mainly down to, maybe you could say the midfield, but also attacking-wise. They don't score a lot of goals compared to what they have previously. But yeah, I think they'll still be a threat in the Europa League. They might be, I would say, quarterfinals max, maybe quarterfinals, semifinals around there. So yeah, let's give some respect to Ajax. And then Rangers, unfortunately, sorry to any Rangers fans out there, are the worst team ever. Not by me, statistically, the worst team ever in Champions League history. 2 goals scored, 22 conceded. 22. It just shows you how far Scottish teams are from competing with the big boys in Europe. And it's great that now the league winner gets an automatic spot in the Champions League. I think it's going to definitely help the likes of Rangers and Celtic, and obviously the other likes of Hearts, Hibernian, and these sort of teams. They just got to get better. There has to be more money pumped into the league. But look, Rangers got a reality check. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst still doing somewhat decently in the league, but Champions League, it has been an absolute feast for the other teams. Absolute feast. So some question marks under Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, but just defensively, man, they just shambles. Just this absolute shambles for them, but a good learning experience. And I think it shows, okay, we have made it this far, but we got a lot more to do if we want to progress further in Europe. But yeah, guys, that is then Group A. Obviously, everybody had Liverpool first, and then it was either Ajax or Napoli. I had, I think, Napoli second, and then Ajax third, and then Rangers fourth. But I'm amazed at how well this Napoli team are playing. Absolutely amazed. It's just the football they play is just spectacular. The way they can counterattack, the way they can control games, the possession is just unbelievable. I hope they can keep this up because Napoli have shown this in the past. They show it for, let's say, 1/3 of the season. They look amazing, then they kind of fall off. Injuries will play a key part. They showed, though, when Victor Osimhen, the main man, went down, Raspadori, Simeone, they stepped up. So they gotta have the role players, the key players off the bench to step up in those big moments, and they're doing that so far. Let's see if they can continue doing it for the whole season. Big up to Sebastian, big up to Eldon. Eldon, we're talking about Atletico next. We are talking about Atletico next. But big up to you, Eldon. Big up to Mo, big up to Ilias. Still a big gap for Scottish Premiership teams in the Champions League and their own domestic league. Yeah, exactly. Look, a lot of work has to be done for the Scottish League. It's great that they have made it this far and they got 2 teams in the group stage, but there's levels. They got to trying to do it in supermarket terms, right? They were at the Tesco. Now they're kind of at the Marks and Spencers, but they need to get to the Harrods. And to get to the Harrods, it takes a lot of money and a lot of time. So that's kind of the thing here. Big up to Sebastian. Yes, he would be a key. Yeah, horrible news for Son, and we'll talk about it. Big up to AD. Big up to Zayn. True Napoli have been insane. Big up to Inter X Yugoslavia FC. Okay, nice to see you here. Big up to Sammy. If Son misses the World Cup career, done. Agreed with that. Ajax look good for themselves. They scored 11 goals, but their defense is horrible. Agreed. I think when Alfred Schroeder switched Daley Blind to center back against Napoli away, that was just a recipe for disaster. This is just a recipe for disaster. Big up to DX. It says Rangers are there for a free trip and TV time. Well, could be. They got their They got a couple stamps on their passport, and Liverpool and PSG could get tough draws. Yes, we're going to discuss about Michael. Don't worry. I've not understood Rangers hype just because they won the Premiership in 2020. Mo, they made the Europa League final last year. And look at the teams they beat. They deserve some hype, though. They deserve some hype. Big up to Misha. How are you doing, Misha? Hopefully you're doing well. And big up to Sammy. Wait, there we go. Big up to Alejandro. Alejandro, I know you're pissed off about my preview about Ecuador. It's all love, buddy. It's all love. But yeah. Alejandro, actually, DM me on the Instagram. When are you leaving to Qatar? Let me know. And do you think Europa League final for Rangers was papering over cracks? Possibly, but I just think they also lost a couple of key players. Rangers, so you have to think about that. And yeah, you can just call it Yugoslavia, all right? Chilwell injured? Yep. Please. He needs to come to Liverpool. Okay, yes, we're going to talk about it. And then Rangers got to the Europa League final against Frankfurt last season, but the Champions League is a big step up. Exactly. So let's move on to Group B. And this might be the most shocking one. I would say it's the most shocking one. Although you could say Benfica topping the group, that would be the most shocking one. Okay, Porto, I think most people would have had them in first and second. I think I had them second in the group. So what I had before the Champions League group stage started was Atletico first, Porto second, Bayer Leverkusen third, and Club Brugge fourth. Well, Club Brugge had other ideas. Shout out to them. Shout out to Simon Mignolet, only conceding 4 goals in 6 games. Simon Mignolet. Porto, we just know, man, even though they lost their first 2 games, they stepped up and got 4 straight wins. You can never count out Conceição's side. With all the players they have lost, Eustáquio now stepping up in big moments. So Porto, they just know, all right, we lose a couple key players. Other guys, you step up. Taremi, of course, getting the goals. So Porto, is it going to be another round of 16 exit or quarterfinals? I could see that happening, but they're a side you don't want to play against because Costa, the goalkeeper, I think is one of the best young goalkeepers in Europe. He will be a goalkeeper that a lot of clubs will go after. You know, let's say if Jan Oblak decides to leave, I could even see Chelsea going after him. I think that would be a good pickup for Chelsea if they could get Costa, the goalkeeper from Porto. Really good pickup. And then, you know what, Club Brugge, I think we got to shout them out. No, if anybody had them in first or second, you're drinking something or you're smoking something. There is no way. There is no way Club Brugge deserve to be, well, not deserve, excuse me. had any right for a prediction to be first or second. They lost their manager. They lost Charles de Ketelaere. But this is the beauty of football. This is the beauty of football. You can never doubt the underdogs. And Club Brugge proved in the first 4 games just defensively so strong. Of course, the game against Porto at home, it was just a complete... I mean, they considered all their goals in the group stage in 1 game. So they're going to be... I think a lot of big teams will be like, oh, give us Club Brugge, give us Club Brugge. Okay, let's see if you can break them down. And they have good players that can counterattack. So be very careful with this team. You got Jutgla, you got Kasper Nielsen in the midfield. I love Kasper Nielsen, the guy from obviously Royal Union Saint-Gilloise who made the move to Club Brugge this summer. So it is going to be difficult for Club Brugge. Guarantee it right now, they're going to get Man City. They're going to get Man City. But by Leverkusen, look, Sione, the manager, got obviously sacked during the group stage. In comes in Xabi Alonso. Difficult position. I think getting to the Europa League, and I predicted that, is actually a good thing. Because they kind of have to focus on the Bundesliga because they're still hovering around the relegation zone. But Bayer Leverkusen need to be defensively stronger. They just simply have to be. And Xabi Alonso needs to figure that out immediately. They have all the attacking talent, and they can get goals. But defensively, they are shambles. Shambles. So Xabi Alonso needs to sort that out immediately. And let's get to Atleti. People, let me know in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, let me know as well. Is Atletico the biggest disappointment in the group stage this season? You could say hands down, but most certainly yes. They were in a group. Look at the group they're in. And there is no disrespect to Porto, Club Brugge, or Bayer Leverkusen. Atletico, with the team they have, the experience they have with the manager, they should be topping this group. Okay, you could say Barcelona. Yes, you could say Juventus. But they didn't finish bottom. Atletico finished bottom in this group. Embarrassment. Questions need to be asked. Yes, you're doing well in La Liga, but what has been the identity of a Simeone side? Defensively strong. The last couple of seasons, they have not been that strong defensively. Unless they put 10 guys in the box like they did against Man City last season. That's the only way they're not going to concede. Is this starting to become the end of Simeone's time at Atletico? I don't know, because we just know him and Atleti, they come as a package. They just come as a package. So it's going to have to be something drastic for him to be either he wants to go or the club are like, you know what? It's time for a new project, a new direction. We need to go a different way, right? I just look at especially just the João Felix treatment, and I'm thinking to myself, that's not how you treat a player who can make a difference in your team. And there's just no chemistry. The midfield is not that strong, and that's been a good identity of a Simeone side. They've always been good in the midfield. Always. But the midfield nowadays, they're just getting overrun. They're conceding for fun. You look at Witzel, who's playing sometimes as center back, being an absolute calamity. Well, didn't he give up 3 goals against Cadiz? I think he was at fault for 3 goals against Cadiz, Axel Witzel. Then he's coming off the bench instead of João Felix. Make it make sense. Simeone is on, I would say, borrowed time. Just depending on how the La Liga goes this season. If they do not make top 4, then we could see the end. But this is a disaster. An absolute disaster. And it just shows you, okay, you can play all the defensive football. You can be very strong in that sense. But if your defense is not strong, like they conceded 9 goals, which is quite rare for a Simeone side, it's a recipe for disaster. And I do fear what is the future for Atletico. I do fear. Simeone has a great track record. Look at where Atletico were before he arrived. Look at where they were before he arrived. He arrives, they win a couple of Ligas, they make it to a couple Champions League finals, and now they are, a part of the sort of big 3 in La Liga. but they need to evolve themselves. If they want to keep up with Barcelona and Real, I think they have to evolve themselves. I think there are rumors sort of like Luis Enrique kind of like maybe he's probably going to leave the Spanish job after the World Cup. And could he go to Atletico? Could Marcelo Gallardo maybe go to Atletico? This could be an option. They have the players that can sort of play that possession style of football, but I just Simeone, man, he just needs to change his ways. He seriously needs to, and only time will tell what will Atletico do. What will they do? And this could be a blessing in disguise as well that they didn't make the Europa League. They don't have to focus on that. All they need to focus on is La Liga and make top four. Because if they don't make top four financially, it is going to be, they are going to be financially in trouble then. Really, really big trouble if they do not make top four in La Liga. But shout out to Club Brugge, shout out to Porto making it to round of 16, and shout out to Bayer Leverkusen, even though Bayer Leverkusen have been dreadful this season going to the Europa League. Let's see what you guys are saying. I see your super chats, Doug and Alejandro. Thank you very much. I'll get to them. Let me just get through some of the comments. What's up? That's not going to happen. I think Bayern are for the favorites for this tournament. Diego Simeone has nothing to give for Atletico anymore. Atletico is so overrated. The team they have, they should top the group. Agreed. Porto always go through. Facts. Oh, nice. Nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, Uncle Shomer's a good friend. And I hope I win the Limone Bowl, the shirt. I hope I win it. Big up to you. And Atletico don't want to face Arsenal this season. Club Brugge versus Benfica would be spicy. 3 Portuguese teams qualifying for the Champions League group stage. I can't ever remember that happening before. That happened last season. Michael. My boy Taremi delivered. Come on, Mike. We need the annual tradition. Yeah, we do. So, Eldon, the Atletico fan says, Atletico needs to either sell half the squad or renovate half the squad with players that fit in Simeone's system and tactics, or get Tuchel and keep the squad. Ooh, Thomas Tuchel, huh? Okay, I like it. The reason Simeone is still a coach is because Atletico is so badly ran. If he gets sacked, they would be like Sevilla in relegation level. And Porto underrated, lost 2 games and then won 4 games in a row to top the group. Yep, exactly. I think people got to put respect on Porto's name. And Simeone's tactics was bad in the UCL, but in La Liga they were doing somewhat decent. Didn't they just lose to Cadiz? 4-0 for Betis. 4-0 for Betis. Big up to Hans. Oh, good. Verts will be back soon. Oh, and Werner's missing the World Cup. Well, this is a good opportunity then. Fulkrug, the Werder Bremen striker. He might get caught up then. Hans. Atletico is so overrated. Atletico equals dinosaur. His current squad is good, but the profiles don't fit. But then shouldn't he adapt to the profiles as well, Shio? It shouldn't always just be, okay, Simeone, we're going to give you this guy. Sometimes you have to adapt as a manager. A lot of managers adapt throughout this world. Look at Carlo Ancelotti. He has a bunch of youngsters. All right, we're going to fit them into the squad. Simeone needs to evolve himself as well. He can't just play this sort of football all the time. And yes, they have no chemistry. And Simeone's philosophy is outdated. Facts. I feel sorry for João Felix. He is a great player. Agreed. Atletico are potentially looking at Luis Enrique. So big up to Alejandro. Thank you very much for the kind donation, my guy. And obviously a member of the channel. He says, never mad over your takes, Mike. Your videos are amazing. Thank you very much for the kind comments. Plus, you're first to see Ecuador potential. Also, Hinchapie knocking Barca out of Europe. And also, your boy Estupiñán played an amazing game against Chelsea. So, Ecuadorians are coming into form into this World Cup. But let's see. A couple weeks away, man. What are we now? How many days are we away? Wait. We are 17 days away until Qatar versus Ecuador. And obviously, Alejandro is an Ecuadorian. So, big up to you, Alejandro. Thanks so much for the super chat. And Luis Enrique will, in my opinion, step down. Yes, agreed. And everyone wrote off Leverkusen and Bruges. Not going to lie, underestimated. Hey, big up to Doug. Thank you very much. Also a member of the channel. Remember to go check out his channel as well, people, if you haven't done so already. The Dugout Football channel. He says, big up, Mike. Thank you very much for the kind donation, Doug. Really appreciate it. So, let us move on. And Fulkrug, big up to Radical as well. He is very one-dimensional. I don't think he can adapt. I don't think he can adapt either. I don't think Simeone will adapt. That's just my thoughts. That is just my thoughts. So, Group C. Obviously, Bayern. Look at these guys. Let me just drink something. Bayern said, cool, you get all these players. You take our best player. Oh, we're just going to top the group. Concede 2 goals only, score 18, win all games. This is what Bayern do. But I'm still a little bit skeptical about this team, just a little bit. But they are improving and improving. You know, when you saw the questions around Nagelsmann, they stepped up their performances. I think honestly, playing Choupo-Moting at the striker has been the best thing to do. I think it has been the best thing to do. The guy is on absolute fire. And Bayern, we know they were going to be in the first two. I had no doubts about it. If people had them third place, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. So shout out to Bayern Munich. And they're going to be one of the favorites from the Champions League. It's just a matter of, can the defense hold strong? Can they just hold strong? They're going to score goals. There's no doubt about that. Because we know the midfield is so good, but just the defense, that is the biggest question mark. If they can hold on, Bayern will go very far in this Champions League. Then we get to Inter. And I must apologize to Inter and all the Inter fans. I did not think they could finish second. I didn't. If you look at this team and how they have been playing all season, they have okay, in the last couple weeks, their performance has gone better. And that's without Brozovic. I mean, Çalhanoğlu playing at the CDM role is a revelation. Revelation, there we go, that's the word. Unbelievable job by Çalhanoğlu. Unbelievable job by Inzaghi. So you got to give it to Inter Milan without Lukaku as well. They did it. So shout out to Inter. They did not bottle it against Viktoria Pilsen because we have seen that in the past before with Inter. They stepped up their performances. They made it to the round of 16. Now all we need is Chelsea versus Inter, and Lukaku scores at Stamford Bridge and celebrates. So, shout out to Inter and shout out to Inzaghi ball. And let's get to Barcelona, also one of the most disappointing teams in the Champions League group stage. One of the most disappointing. I mean, how focused are they going to be on the Europa League? I can't tell you. I think they should try and go far because of TV money. They need that money. I'm just saying, Barcelona fans, it's been a disappointing. I think, obviously the injuries, just especially in defense, Koundé and Araujo, they have been vital. They have really been vital. But you just look at the front three, and if Lewandowski isn't scoring, who in that front three is going to score? Exactly. Nobody. Except for Ansu Fati. But then Ferran Torres just scores 2 against Viktoria Pilsen. Why couldn't you do that early in the campaign? Barcelona fans are asking. But it's been a really disappointing campaign from Barcelona's perspective. And there are going to be questions. But now you focus on La Liga. You improve there. You improve your performances there. And they haven't been the greatest performances in the last couple of weeks from Barcelona. Let's keep it real. Like against Valencia, it was a struggle, but then Lewandowski, the man he is, steps up in the most important of moments. And then Viktoria Pilsen, do I need to say anything? I saw these guys against Hoiko in the qualifying rounds. They weren't the greatest side. I knew they were going to lose every game. They conceded 24 goals and scored 5. At least they scored 5 goals. At least they gave their fans some excitement, but it was a good learning experience and a good way to get some more stamps in the passport for Viktoria Pilsen. But I think financially it was a massive thing. I think only it was a year and a half ago this club were financially struggling. And now look at the amount of money they got, the amount of notoriety they get from being in the Champions League group stage, especially against 3 heavyweights of Europe. So it was a good experience for the Victoria fans, but for Barcelona, big disappointment. Big disappointment, and surely next season they're going to make it out of the group stage. Surely. You never know. You never know, people. But let me know your thoughts. Let's get to some of the comments. Here we go. Forza Inter. Steve is very happy that Bayern is top. Bayern are always dominating the group stage, facts, and they divide the odds. Barca fans having emotional damage. Yep. Samir Nasri said that PSG need the mentality of Bayern. Even when you're through, Bayern always want to win no matter what. PSG lacking the mentality. We're going to talk about that, Hans. We're going to talk about that. And Barcelona going to listen to Europa League again. Yep. I remember I called that Inter would look to prove themselves in this group. And they most certainly did. The only team that scored goals versus Bayern was Victoria. Oh my God, they actually did, They did. Yeah, they did. Inter reserved their power for the Champions League. Finally, some respect to Inter. Barcelona are going to have to win the Europa League or win the La Liga, given their outlay on players this season, given their massive depths the club had. They have to win something this season. They have to. Our defense looks way better. Upamecano, Delete, Hernandez are all really good this season. Maswori at right back and Davis is amazingly, obviously, of course. You got the good fullbacks. You got the good fullbacks. And yeah, they did try against Bayern. They did try it. Yeah, at least they did. Mike, Inter didn't fully bottle it in the first 3 years of the return to the UCL, but they weren't experienced at that time. No, of course, like in the last couple of years when Inter were in the Banter era and they returned to the Champions League, obviously you can understand, all right, these new players, they haven't been experienced in the Champions League. You're going to feel the moment. But I'm just saying, from just some past experiences with Inter, they have been known to bottle it in the Champions League. They have been known to do it. And Rafinha has been a big disappointment. Man, Leeds fans must be happy. They got the money. Get the money and run. Now Inter is experienced. Yeah, but we were 4-0 up. Yeah, of course. Big up the Jowl. He says Benfica dark horses of the tournament. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get, when we discuss Group H, we'll discuss about that. Barca and the downfall. They will be in a tough group always because of their seeding now. Yes, they will be. We didn't concede one goal. Yeah, no, you didn't. Only to Victoria Pilsen. Oh, you did, Doug. Nice. And I also thought Pilsen could get a point or two, but didn't realize their defense was this shocking. I feel bad for the goalkeeper, Stanek. He's actually a really good goalkeeper. And Mike the Legend, big up to Dane. How you doing, Dane? All right, let us continue then with the madness of Group D. Oh, Sporting, man. I'm honestly just going to say Sporting. Sporting bottled this. And I'm sorry to any Sporting fans. You guys simply bottled this. You had 6 points in the first 2 games. And then in the next 4 games, you had 1 point. All you needed to do was just win one more game. That's all they had to do, Sporting. I know they've had a lot of key injuries and this sort of stuff, but still. The game against Frankfurt, I mean, just the referee, by the way, calamity. How is that a penalty on Coates? How is that a penalty on Sebastian Coates? I just don't understand. I just don't understand how that was a penalty. Since Daichi Kamada came, he jumped and landed on his back. But then they gave a penalty because Coates handballed it. It was so weird. But also, Zayat Kolasniak. How do you not even get that on target? And people, if you haven't seen the header, go check it out. The former Arsenal man had the opportunity to knock out Tottenham from the group stage. But he puts it wide from a yard out. How? I was watching the game and I was stunned. I was absolutely stunned at how he didn't even get it on target. So, Zayat Kolasniak. Oh man. So, Tottenham, they haven't looked good at all this season. They haven't. They've had a couple of injuries. Obviously, Kulusevski, Richarlison, now Heung-min Son. Obviously, hopefully they all get speedy recoveries because, well, 2 of them are probably going to the World Cup. And let's see if they're even going to play at the World Cup. But otherwise, they haven't looked like the fullbacks. And especially with the Conte way, the 2 wingbacks have to be really good. And Perisic has not been that great with Tottenham. They haven't been good. So, I mean, look, they still topped the group. It was a difficult situation. They kind of topped the group because Marseille didn't understand that if they just kept for a draw, they would have made it to the Europa League. But that's another story. And I don't think Tottenham are going to make it far in the Champions League. I just don't think so. I think it's quarterfinals max. They're good. It's good that they finished top, but they could get a tough opponent. And I'm not super sold. I'm not super sold on this Tottenham team, and they have to make some improvements, right? They simply just have to. But shout out to Eintracht Frankfurt. Funny enough, Barcelona spent all the money. Eintracht Frankfurt knocked them out last season, and look who progressed out of the group stage. Eintracht Frankfurt. Shout out to Oliver Glasner's side. Shout out to Golo Muani, the best free signing this season so far. If I'm trying to think of other ones, but Golo Muani has been an absolute beast for Eintracht Frankfurt. Okay, first I think it was 6 games. I think he's starting to get used to the team. And obviously Oliver Glasner, they're just trying to find their ways now that Kostic left and they're trying to switch formation. But Golo Muani in the last couple of games is just a man possessed. He's an absolute beast. And also Daichi Kamada. Please, every team should be going for this guy. He is going to be a free agent next summer. Everybody should be going for Daichi Kamada. The way he can control in tight spaces, can find a good pass, the link-up play, the finishing. This guy is a good, actually, I think a great player. I really do rate Daichi Kamada. Fantastic. And overall, Eintracht Frankfurt, the first game they lost 3-0 to Sporting, and the way they have bounced back in this group, also losing 3-2 away to Tottenham, you got to give it to Eintracht Frankfurt. And just an incredible achievement once again from Oliver Glasner's side. Once it's their first Champions League campaign since they lost to Real Madrid in the Champions League final, like in the late 60s, I believe. And they're going to progress, and they're going to finish second. And I don't think this is a team you really want to play against, right? Everybody will think, okay, Eintracht Frankfurt, easy opponent, but they're getting better and better. They're evolving themselves. Obviously, the first 5 games, it wasn't good. Defensively, just a calamity. But now, much, much better. And then, for Marseille, Igor Tudor's side, they're kind of falling off at the moment. The last couple of weeks, it hasn't been good from Igor Tudor's side, and I'm a little bit worried for Olympique de Marseille. I'm a little bit worried for them, but they had the chance to top this. Not even top it. They had the chance to finish first or second, but Zead Kolasniak missed it. And also, Alexis Sanchez had a good opportunity that was blocked, I think, from Perisic, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm a little bit disappointed in Marseille. They started off the season really well. Great pressing, great intensity to their play. But the last couple of weeks hasn't been good. But I still rate the manager. Really do. So it was an incredible ending to this group because, my God, it just all over the place. And yeah, finally Conte qualifies from a group. Yep, this group was anybody's game. Facts, the referees in the UCL, they're shambles this season. Yep. Typical Uefa, they don't like my name. This is why I like Libertadores more. And just watching the highlights, all of Sporting's players seem pissed, especially in the 2 games versus Marseille. They just gave a vibe that they don't... It could be. And if I was second place team, I would love to get Tottenham in the round of 16. Yep. Half of the teams in the round of 16 are either German teams or English teams. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Four Bundesliga teams. Oh, is the Bundesliga Farmers League, by the way? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. And every second place team was once Tottenham. Yep. And I do not think Tottenham should be celebrating a win against Bournemouth. Well, they did come back, so I understand that Kamada is a beast. Also a great signing for Frankfurt, another PSG talent who's doing well after leaving the club. You know who's also doing really well after leaving PSG? Xavi Simons. And I called it as well. Called it. And Perisic got a hamstring injury on the final day of the Serie A. It doesn't... Nicola, we're in November. He needs to be performing better, Perisic. And Frankfurt did it without Kostic. Yep, big up to CJ. Marseille is always bad in the... I don't get it either. And Kolasinac had one job. He had one job. Yep, and that game was really suspicious. I can't lie. Oh, could be the curse. And Frankfurt, holders of the Europa League, they knocked out Barcelona. I don't think they're going to be dark horses, but do not be surprised if they do make it to the quarterfinals. Do not be surprised. Okay, well, no real surprises in this group, although it did look a little bit dicey for Chelsea after the first 2 match days. Then they bounced back and got 4 straight wins. So this isn't really Graham Potter's style of play, I want to say. I still think he's experimenting a lot, and he's got to figure out his best 11. I know they have some injuries, but he's got to sort out his best 11. Seriously, because it ain't the greatest at the moment. Like, the play isn't that good. You're still playing Sterling and Pulisic at wingbacks. Like, if you play that against Arsenal on the weekend, Graham, it's going to be trouble. But kudos to Chelsea. Bounced back really well. 4 straight wins, and they topped the group. Convincing fashion. 4 goals conceded. I just think the goal scoring is going to be a bit of an issue, and I'm not too convinced by this side as of now. I'm not too convinced. Then Milan had to do it the most difficult way possible. But in the last 2 games, they won 4-0 and 4-0. They won 4-0 in both games, and they qualify out of the group stage, something they couldn't do last season. So this is a good progression for this young side, and it's about experience. Getting these young players the big nights in the Champions League. Because this is what Milan are built on. Champions League nights. This is what this club is built on. So getting out of the group stage was big. And then Red Bull Salzburg, we knew they would finish 3rd. They gave a good account of themselves. Gave tough games to Milan and Chelsea at home. Not so much. Actually, you know what? To be fair, in the first half, RB Salzburg were going at it against Milan. But then the second half, they just kind of fell apart. And then Dinamo Zagreb, they got the first match day, the win over Chelsea. Other than that, it's been kind of disappointing. And you just haven't seen the brilliance of Orsic so much in the game. So I think a little bit disappointed from Dinamo's perspective. They could have finished 3rd, but they didn't. And they're out of Europe. And Red Bull Salzburg, also, Could be another round of 16 quarterfinal team in the Europa League. No real surprises in this group, but I think Milan, once they start getting the players back that are all injured, they could be a very dangerous team for a first seed, right? For a group winner. Very, very dangerous team. And let's continue. Bud, Dinamo, AC Milan, wow, they smashed Salzburg, and Giroud is so good. I like that when you are performing well in the Eredivisie, you are flying under the radar for talents. It is brilliant. They're there because the pressure isn't that high. Exactly, and they could have gotten a draw. Milan project is still too hype. They're still inexperienced, and it takes time for that to happen. Of course, look, they're getting better and better, Milan, and they're a young team. They're one of the youngest teams in the Champions League. So you just gotta see where this is going with this project. They know what they're doing. Pioli knows what he's doing. The players know. So they just got to get the players healthy. That's just simply as that. And Jesko, yes, it will be a great signing. It looks like Chilwell has torn his hamstring at outfield. Wow, man. Hey, you got to start England, man. England, yeah. It's not looking the greatest for England heading into this World Cup. A lot of injuries to key positions. It looks like Luke Shaw and Trippier might start for them. And they might be starting for them. So, let us continue then to Group F, where Real Madrid topped the group. No real question marks. Valverde might be the best midfielder in the world right now, alongside KDB. I mean, Valverde is absolutely insane. I don't know what he drank. I don't know what was in his mate this summer, but my God, Valverde has turned into an absolute beast, and we know Real were going to top this group. This was a very easy group for them. And I think, you know what they want? They want a tough opponent in the round of 16. They want to test themselves to see where this team are at. Remember, people, if you haven't smashed the like button, do so right now. Let's get up to 30 likes. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. And I think for Carlos' side, a lot of changes throughout the group stage. Players playing in different positions. Players, moving it out. Karim being injured for some of the games. So just shows you this team are just getting better and better, and they won the Champions League last season. They won it last season. Now, Real, they are contenders once again. Last season, people were like, oh, maybe, nah, not so much. This season, they are bona fide contenders to win yet again the Champions League. This side just love Champions League matches. It's inevitable, absolutely inevitable. But shout out to RB Leipzig. And shout out to Marco Rose. I think they started off with 2 losses, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they did. They lost to Shakhtar 4-1. Then they lost to Real 2-0 away. And they just have bounced back superbly well. And I think mostly defensively stronger, but also attacking-wise. Like, this team just started scoring for fun. Soboslai, Andre Silva, and Nkunku, of course. They got their goal-scoring mojo back. They're doing much better in the Bundesliga. I think they found a good balance now with the 4-in-the-back formation. So RB Leipzig, if they continue this good form heading into February when the round of 16 does occur, could be a sneaky team. But let's see which opponent they do get in the round of 16. Let's see which opponent. But good achievement from them once again to progress out of the group. Shakhtar, they had a golden opportunity to finish. To finish first or second, it would have been an incredible story to think about with this team. I mean, just the amount of players that left, such a young team. Mudryk, of course, he's probably going to leave inevitably, either whether it's January or next summer. So you got to give massive respect to Shakhtar Donetsk. Unbelievable effort, but it just wasn't enough. But they continue in the Europa League, and they will also be a dangerous team in the Europa League. And then Celtic, I'm a little bit disappointed. Man, they played so well in the first match day against Real. But then it just shows you, defensively, they have to get better. Joe Hart thinking he's prime Neuer who can just play out of his own box and dribble past everybody. Joe, and defensively, they got to get better, Celtic. But they got some really, really talented players. But it just shows you, good learning experience for Celtic. And then what can they do in the next couple of seasons? Can they get better? Can they progress out of the group possibly? And that's going to be the key thing, I think, for Celtic in the upcoming years. But Real will be contenders, and RB Leipzig, of course, will it be a team you don't really want to play against if they continue this good form that they are showing at the moment. And yes, Leipzig did have 0 points after 2 matches. Yes, they did, and Trippier is a great option. Valverde, Modric, KDB, top 3. Celtic disappointed me. Yep, same here. KDB, Modric, and Valverde are the best midfielders in the world right now. Leipzig did well after the awful start. Yep, they did. They lost their first two games and enjoyed watching Madrid Celtic, but my Celtics defense atrocious. Yes. Celtics defense is terrible. You should never write off Real. Nope. I don't think anybody are going to do that anymore. Credit to Frankfurt. Yep. And if Real gets Liverpool, yeah, we won't have a chance. I hated Real Madrid last season before, but now I respect them more. You should always respect Real. They should the biggest club in the world. You have to just respect them. Oh, that would be a fantastic game, Hans. Ooh, that would be a fantastic game. And Leipzig got the players. They shouldn't have been as bad as they were in the first place. They're looking how they should right now. Exactly. They have talented players, Leipzig. It just the tactics were not working anymore. And all four German clubs went through. No, they had five teams, Sammy. Bayer Leverkusen didn't make it through. But four German teams made it. So, great achievement for them. And I said, is it still the Farmers League? Yes. Marco Rose needs security. Went from Mönchengladbach, Dortmund, and Leipzig. And yeah, Scottish League might be trash. It ain't the greatest. And Mudryk is a great talent. Agreed. Sevilla to Europa League. And Kyogo and Hatate were bright sparks for Celtic. I'm amazed they're not in the jam. I can't believe it. No, wait. Didn't Kyogo make it, Doug? I don't think Hatate made it, but Kyogo, I thought he made it. And big up to Fraser as well. And yes, let's now talk about then Group G, where, I mean, obviously Man City, we're going to talk the group. No questions asked. I think that's pretty easy to spot out here. But Borussia Dortmund, they have got a lot better now under Terzic, right? We've been very, very critical about them. That, okay, the attacking patterns weren't there. I just think that Modeste, he's just not a striker for them. He's a good option off the bench, and he can start some Bundesliga games, but I just don't think he can start for them. I think it just has to be Moukoko. But you got to give it to Jude Bellingham. I mean, this guy has stepped up his... I mean, he was a great player. He's just getting better and better right now. I mean, that price tag is just getting... It's just skyrocketing at the moment. So, I'm still not sold on Borussia Dortmund. You can never be sold on this team. They are just so... They can be great some games. They can be terrible other games. So, let's just see. Let's just see for Borussia. But Man City, they will be one of the favorites for the Champions League. No doubt about it. This was an easy group for them. They could have rested some players like they have in the last couple of games. They played the youngsters against Sevilla. So just shows you, Pep, what will he be like in the knockout stage? That is just always going to be the biggest question mark for this side. How will they perform when it gets a little bit, when the nerves are there? When the nerves are there, how will this side react? But you got to give it to Man City. And they're primed to make another deep run in the Champions League. No doubt about it. Sevilla, very disappointing, but also, do they just want to drop down to the Europa League? I just simply think they do want to do it. They just want to drop down to the Europa League. This side just love it. They want to win that competition all the time. And it's still, Jorge Sampaoli, I haven't really seen Sampaoli ball yet. I haven't seen it yet, so it has to be better from Sevilla. And then FC Copenhagen, hey, at least they scored the goal in the last match day. So that's at least great to see. And they scored in front of their fans at the Parkenstad. And so that's the only good thing I can say about FC Copenhagen, because otherwise they got to just focus. I think it was the best thing they didn't make it to the Europa League, because otherwise that could have even been more distraction on their league campaign that has been not the greatest. Not the greatest. But I think it was pretty even group. I mean, Borussia and obviously Sevilla were battling out, but I think Dortmund have shown that they are getting better and better throughout the season. And let's just see here some comments. Thank God Benfica. Yes, we're going to talk about that next. Maeda made it. Oh, okay. So Hatate and Kyogo didn't make it. Okay. I know Kyogo didn't make it, but neither did Furuhashi, which I'm amazed about. Bellingham is fourth behind KDB. Yes, he is on fire at the moment. Yep, they did get a draw. That's very true. As long as Real Madrid is in the UCL, Man City won't win it. Big up Doug. And Dortmund is not great, to be honest. I watched a few Dortmund games this season. If they have an opponent who's tough, they probably lose. And that game against Frankfurt was a scam. Oh, yeah. It was I think even the referee said it was not the greatest performance from him. Big up to JC. JC, Sporting bottled it. They bottled it, JC. There's just no other words to it. I know you had a lot of injuries and this sort of stuff, but Sporting, man, you had such a golden opportunity to finish in the first two positions. But you get the Europa League. At least that's good. You can maybe make a deep run there. And what if Sevilla wins the... Oh, God. Imagine. To the Europa League we go. Oh man, the Europa League is going to be lit this season. Everybody's going to start talking about it, even though I've been talking about it most of the time, except the last match day because I've been busy with moving. And then the final group. Now I did call that Maccabi Haifa would finish last, so we got to give respect to Maccabi Haifa. Okay, in the last two games they conceded 13 goals. They conceded 13 goals in the last two games. All right. But I think you got to give massive respect to this team. They showed that they can play with the big boys, but they just lack the quality to take that next step. But I think you gotta give them some credit. They fought. They got a famous victory over Juventus at home, and Maccabi Haifa should be very proud of their efforts, except in the last two games. But I mean, they just were playing against PSG and that front three, and then they played against Benfica, who were just a team possessed. Just an absolute team possessed. Juventus, my God, one win. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. They got one win. Juventus. The old lady, more like the sad lady. One win for Juventus. When has that happened last in the Champions League group stage? Un. But hey, they did perform pretty good yesterday against PSG with youngsters. But it's just still, and hey, great to see Chiesa back though. Everybody rates him as a baller, man. Everybody rates Chiesa as a baller, so great to see him back healthy. It's been a long recovery for him. I think he had some setbacks, if I'm not mistaken, with the ACL tear. But Juventus Thursday nights, they are not winning the Europa League, people. They are not winning the Europa League. Let me say that right here. Juventus are not even going to get close to winning the Europa League. And they have a lot of questions still. A lot of questions still with this team. And I'm a little bit worried still. Like, let's see how they look like after the World Cup. Because let's see then Pogba, let's see Di Maria, let's see their motivation. Obviously, Pogba's not going to the World Cup, but still, like, Juventus, this is so bad. This is a disaster. This is not even an embarrassment. This is just a straight-up disaster. Disaster. 3 points. You were 11 points behind PSG and Benfica. And they were the only setting out team that didn't even progress out of the group. All right, enough of Allegri ball. I don't want to talk about dinosaurs. PSG. This could come back to haunt them. This could come back to haunt them. If they only just got one more goal against Maccabi Haifa or pushed on to get a larger margin of victory against Juventus. But PSG were not even that great last night. I know they were missing Neymar, but they were not even good. Like, the midfield got overran by Locatelli and Rabiot. I mean, Rabiot and Locatelli played amazing games yesterday. And PSG finished second. Now, this could all be fine if they get the likes of, let's say, Porto, or if they get... I mean, who else could they get? Because even if they get Napoli, like Napoli could beat PSG. Chelsea could still beat PSG, even though Chelsea don't look the greatest. Obviously, they can't get Benfica. I mean, Bayern Munich against PSG? I'm sorry, I'm taking Bayern Munich. And I think defensively, this team still has holes to fix. I know yesterday Galtier played with a different formation. I think he played like a 4-2-3-1, like Carlos, or like a 4-4-2 in a way, where they just had the whole midfield compact. But yeah, I mean, PSG versus Spurs. I'll take PSG in that game. So this could come back to haunt PSG. Let's just see who they get, because if they get Real, Man City, boy. With the way the history of PSG have been in the last couple of seasons in the Champions League, I'm putting absolutely no money on them progressing out. Even though they have all the star players, I could care less. They just don't have that nuance. They don't have the cojones. They just don't. But the team that finished first, Benfica, my lord, this team is incredible. I did call them to finish second. I didn't think they could finish top over PSG. And look, see, people, this is why the Super League is the dumbest idea ever. Dumbest. The team that wanted the Super League in this group got 3 points. And they were one of the teams who were pushing so hard for it because they wanted money and wanted cheap money and a quick way to get some money. Benfica, who sold their, well, you could say that they sold their best player, Darwin or El Loco Nunes. Jesus Christ, I was just going to say Diaz. Darwin El Loco Nunes. For 80 million euros. You know what they did? Okay, cool. We're going to go get Roger Schmidt, a good manager who's had some good years with PSV and Bayer Leverkusen. We're going to go get Enzo Fernandez. We're going to promote this young center back, Antonio Silva. We still got Gonzalo Ramos, who we think is better than Darwin Nunes. We got Rafa Silva. João Mario. João Mario was one of the worst signings ever for Inter. What did he go for? What was it, like 40 million, I believe? João Mario has a renaissance in his career. An absolute renaissance. And Benfica are just such a good team because Roger Schmidt has this team playing very good pressing style, counter pressing, the ball movement, the midfield is so good, and they just have individual quality who can create a goal out of nothing. And Grimaldo, I'm shocked he's still at the club, but great for Benfica, and you just gotta give respect, man. They have been one of the best teams in Europe. And I saw that already in the Champions League qualifying rounds. Yes, it was against Midtjylland. Yes, it was against Dinamo Kiev. But you saw this team, they're different than last season. Jorge Jesus was a dinosaur. Roger Schmidt is the sprinkling on the ice cream. And he is just adding those few little touches to a team that are very good and talented, but he's bringing his own philosophy. And that philosophy mixed with the players that Benfica have is just... Now, the biggest question mark is, how far will this team go? People, let me know in the comments. And if you're watching a replay, how far can Benfica go in the Champions League? Remember, last season they made it to the quarterfinals with an interim manager. I would say that they are a quarterfinals team. Not semifinals just so much, quarterfinals. I think this team are really, really good. And who knows, they could even strengthen in the January transfer window. They could seriously do that. And I just think they have a lot of great pieces, and this team are just playing some fantastic football, and they haven't lost a game yet. They have not lost a game yet in any competition. Any. I think it's only them and PSG who haven't lost a game in like the top 7 leagues. So, shout out to Benfica, shout out to Roger Schmidt, shout out to Enzo Fernandez. Please come to Liverpool. I'm going to keep saying it until it happens. And if it doesn't happen, I don't know what I'm going to do. But yeah, let me know, people, how far can Benfica go in the Champions League this season? Let me see, where was the last one we were at? Where was the last one we were at? Yes. João Mario, my hero. João Mario, look at all these people. Juventus are finished under Allegri. Facts. Yeah, they did play good. Last minute goal by Benfica, to be fair. Just incredible. Well, it was like 2-1 in the 70th minute. And then Benfica said, oh, we need to score 4 goals. Don't worry. We got it. Yeah, they did have the head-to-head, but I think it was goal difference. That was the decider. And Juve deserved the draw. Yes, I thought Juve actually played pretty well. And they're slowly getting to it. To be honest, Mohammed, Mehdi is better than Curtis Jones. I would say that. They will be once they don't make the... Can Spurs beat PSG? I mean, can you trust PSG in knockout stages? You can't. Tottenham, I honestly put Napoli as slight favorites against PSG. Agreed. Conceding 3 goals against Troyes plus no clean sheet in the UCL for PSG. We'll love to see it. The Oil Derby would be pretty good to see. And Oil Clasico would be scripted. Yes, it would. Benfica are the best informed team in Europe. Who are the favorites? Elias, we got to wait to see which teams progress out of the Europa League because still a lot of groups to decide. And yes, he is a gem. Unfortunately, he will not be going to the World Cup. And we said Benfica would be second. Yep. I love to be proven right. And when all these Juventus fans were crying and bitching, oh, why you put us third? Why? We're still Juventus. We're the big boys in Italy. You ain't anymore. You ain't. You just it isn't, and you have yourselves to blame. Best advert before the Qatar World Cup would be would be really impressive from Benfica. They are still undefeated. Yes, they are. João Mario is into legend since destroying Juventus. Benfica would be Liverpool this time around. Yep, I agree with that. So João says semis, why not? Yeah, why not? I think this side can make it to the semis. Over two legs, Liverpool can still beat Benfica. I agree with that. How much is Ramos? I think he was valued at like 30 million because Newcastle were going for him in the summer. You know Benfica. They're going to get that to 60 million. They're going to get it to 60 million. And to me, Benfica proved that they could even be contenders to win this year. They have that curse, though. They have the curse. They have the curse. Berto Roberto says Union Berlin versus Barcelona. Oh, my God, imagine. Imagine if Barcelona have to go to Union Berlin. Oh, my God, the scenes. So, before I do a quick mock draw, here are then the teams in their way. Okay. People, give me if your club is still in the Champions League, here. Let me know your dream draw for your team. Give me the team that you would most want and the team that you would least want, right? So let me know that in the chat. And if you're neutral, let me know what would be the dream matchup for you. I think for Napoli, because obviously they can't get Inter, Milan, or Liverpool, I would love to see Napoli against RB Leipzig. I think that would be a fantastic matchup. Just the football that both teams could play would just be end to end. I think it would just be goals. So I think that would be fun to see. For Liverpool, I think they're kind of screwed. I really do. I mean, like, they can only get Porto, Bayern, Real Madrid, or Benfica. I think it's inevitable that Liverpool are going to play Bayern, by the way. I really do think Liverpool are going to play Bayern, and it's going to be Sadio Mane return. No, man. I don't want to see Sadio against us. I love the guy. Oh, if he scores against us, I'm going to be so sad. So, yeah, that would be kind of a horrible thing for Liverpool. For Porto, I think, obviously, they can't get Club Brugge, so I think Porto, they would really want, I think, like Borussia Dortmund or Frankfurt. That would be the best option for Porto. For Club Brugge, look, any opponent is going to be tough. If they have to choose one opponent, I would say Tottenham. I think that would be the best option for Club Brugge. Bayern, best option for them would be obviously getting Club Brugge. The worst would be either getting PSG or Liverpool. Milan or Inter as well. I think those are tough opponents for Bayern. I really do. For Inter, look, they're also in a tough position. They can only get tough matchups here, except for Porto. So, and Napoli. Obviously, they can't get Napoli. So it's going to be a tough game for Inter as well. Tottenham, obviously, they're going to hope to get Club Brugge. They're going to hope to get it. They can't obviously get Liverpool. They can't get Eintracht Frankfurt. How about we say a Conte derby in Tottenham versus Inter? Would love to see that. Would love to get it. Love to see it. Then Eintracht Frankfurt. Now, they can't play Bayern. They can't play Tottenham. So Eintracht Frankfurt are hoping to get Porto. If that doesn't happen, I think Frankfurt can possibly beat Chelsea with the way Chelsea are playing right now. With the way they're playing right now. So I think Frankfurt would like a matchup with Chelsea. For Chelsea, the worst option would be PSG. Easier for them, and then obviously the easiest would be Club Brugge. Milan, obviously they can't get Chelsea or Napoli, so I think Milan are also kind of screwed. They're only going to get a tough matchup here. I really do think so for Milan. And then Real Madrid, they don't care. They'll take on anybody. RB Leipzig, I think in a similar mold. Obviously, a lot of these teams will be screwed because they got tough opponents. Man City, this is the thing with Man City. I feel like they're going to get another easy draw. I'm going to do a mock draw after this, people. But Man City, like, could you imagine if we get Man City versus PSG in the round of 16? Oh my God, the football would be insane. Would be insane. Dortmund as well, they're screwed unless they get Porto. Benfica, I think Benfica would love to play Liverpool and knock out Darwin Núñez. I think they would love it. And Benfica could get some easy opponents. So let's see. Okay, let me do quickly a mock draw. Let me quickly get that up. Remember, people, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let's see how many likes we're on. Are we on 30? We're on 26. Disappointing. We're performing like Rangers. Sorry to any Rangers fans this season. Must hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Do it right now. As we do a quick mock draw, this will be my mock draw then for the round of 16. I'm going to be busy this weekend, so I can't really do it myself. And obviously, we got the World Cup content still more and more coming out. So remember, people, check out the playlist for that. Now, let me get this mock draw up for us. So I guarantee you, Liverpool and Bayern are going to play against each other. I mean, look, 40% chance is going to happen. It's inevitable that Sadio is returning to Anfield. It's inevitable. Nah, I just don't want to see. Now, if this happens, I might crawl in a hole. And just tell me when Liverpool are knocked out. Obviously, football is a funny sport. It can all change then when February comes around, it can all change. Benfica Bruges. I mean, that would be a great match. That would be a great game for Benfica. Look at that. All the Benfica fans want Bruges. Benfica have shown they can beat any opponent this season. So why not go up against the best? Why not? I'm trying to be optimistic, Marcel, but we are not that good right now. We are not. Even though we won against Napoli, I still don't think the performance was that good. Except for Konate. Konate, man, the guy's a beast. All right, so let's start it right here. First off, we got RB Leipzig, and they will be taking on Chelsea. The Timo Werner derby? Anybody? Timo Werner and Kuku probably playing against his future team? Oh, that would be a fun matchup to watch. And yeah, Timo Werner is out of the World Cup. Sad to see, but sad to see for Timo Werner. That would have been a good opportunity for him. But yeah, the Timo Werner derby. This is what it would be called, the Werner derby. All right, let's get the next matchup. So we have Liverpool. Let me guess, Bayern. Oh, Jesus. Now, I want to big up my team, but if we played against this Real, and I don't like the PTSD that the Liverpool players would get knowing that they have lost 2 Champions League finals against this club might kick in, and the Real are playing much better football than they have in the last couple of seasons. But oh man, Liverpool versus Real. I mean, it would be a great game for the neutrals, but I would not be excited for that. Oh boy. So Club Brugge would go up against Tottenham. Do not write off Club Brugge in this game. That's all I'm going to say. If it does happen, of course. Inter, who would they play against? They would play against Benfica. Ooh, that would be a good game. That would be a tasty, tasty matchup. This is called then the João Mario Derby. João Mario Derby, this would be called. This would be, I think, a really intense game. I would love this matchup. So, Milan, who are they going to go up against? Oh, jeez. Milan versus Bayern. Oh, probably a good game. Oh, man, that would be... The football also would be intense. Then you see Mazwari against Rafael Leao. Oh, would be fun. Frankfurt, let me guess, Man City. Ooh, Porto. Okay, so one of those 2 teams make it to the quarterfinals. Love to see it. PSG, Man City. Guys, people, if this is the round of 16 matchups, I'm sorry, this would be the best outcome. We have Liverpool Real. We have the Werner derby. We have Inter versus Benfica, which I think is a great matchup. We have PSG against Man City. Then we have Dortmund against Napoli, which could end up being like the Dortmund against Monaco a couple of seasons ago. Could be like 7-3. And people are already saying the oil derby. The oil derby. Yeah, actually, good point. It would be Milan 7 UCLs versus... No, Bayern has 6, right? Yeah, Bayern has 6. So that would be heritage, as we all love to speak about with the Champions League. If this mock draw does happen, fireworks, people. Fireworks. So, wow, that would be an insane draw. Now, would this happen? Probably not. But do not be shocked with UEFA. They always try these sneaky things, The temperature of the ball. Or maybe the ball has a little bit of a different reflection when it hits the light. And this sort of stuff. I'm telling you right now, it is going to be Liverpool versus Bayern. I can book it right here. And I guarantee you this. PSG will either play against Bayern, Man City, or Chelsea. They will play against one of those 3 teams. Actually, you know what? No. Inter will play against Chelsea because of Lukaku. That's the only reason why UEFA would make that matchup. Because those 2 teams will go up against each other. And PSG will get KO'd early again. Man, Benfica caused a mess in that group. I love it, man. We need chaos. And I need teams that were not a part of that stupid Super League project to do well. Because clearly this shows how many teams are... Actually, wait. So Chelsea were in the Super League. Liverpool, Real, Tottenham. Were both the Milan clubs in it? I think they were. Okay, so we had 7. We got 8 with Man City. So we have 8 teams from the Super League in the round of 16 of the Champions League. Barca out, Atletico out, Juventus out. Am I missing anybody else? I think that's it. For the Super League. Yeah. But yeah, I think Liverpool Bayern is going to happen. Unfortunately, I don't want it to happen. Oh, was AC Milan not part of the Super League? Okay. I didn't think so. Oh God, imagine. The closest matchup would be Inter Benfica for sure. Oh yeah, I would love that matchup. Inter versus Benfica. Like, okay, Inter were not playing great in the beginning of the season, but they have much more fluidity and much more cohesion within the squad. I think it was just a mess at the beginning, but now the squad is playing much better. Once Lukaku can just stay healthy, because the guy played one game, scored, and got injured. So yeah, people, it's been an absolute pleasure back on the live streams. I'll try and do a bit more live streams in the next couple of weeks, because obviously there is a competition called the World Cup. Remember, people, go check out the playlist for the World Cup. I've already done previews of Group A, B, C, D, E, F. No, F is coming out later today. Sorry. F is coming out later today with Croatia. So go check those out on the channel. And obviously, we're going to have the prediction video. The prediction video will be a live stream. So I'm going to do the group stage predictions and my knockout predictions for the World Cup in a live stream. So stay tuned for that. Remember to hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. It's been an absolute pleasure. Champions League is going to be lit. We have a great weekend of football, so we're going to probably have some live reactions to Chelsea against Arsenal, Tottenham versus Liverpool, and then Derby d'Italia, Juventus versus Inter Milan. Ooh, what a weekend of football. What a weekend of football. So big up to everybody. Give me Bayern, says Chris. I do not want any part of Sadio Mane. Please. The football gods. The payments are coming through tomorrow. Don't worry. PayPal. Just check it out. Give Liverpool Porto. Although Porto could probably beat Liverpool at the moment. But just Porto, please. That's all I ask for. That's all I ask for. And fun fact, 2 teams who really wanted the Super League are out. Yep. And first leg, it's at Anfield. Nobody wants us. That's true. And remember the last time when Liverpool played their first leg at home. And that was against, I think... No. It was Villarreal. But the last time in the round of 16 was against Bayern. And it was 0-0. And then Sadio Mane said, ha! We'll sort that out in this second leg. But now he's on the other team. Michael, which World Cup matches will you be covering? I'll be covering all of them, Michael. Is that even a question? What? Michael, is that even a question? I will be covering every match. Every single game. Qatar, Ecuador. Iran, Wales. Costa Rica, Japan. We're going to discuss every single game on this channel. It's every 4 years. I tried to do my best for the AFCON to cover every single game. We're doing it for the World Cup as well. We're doing it for the World Cup. And Liverpool to win versus Bayern, I have a feeling for some reason. I don't know what you guys are seeing with Liverpool. I do not see that. And just for Albert, because, you know, Albert is here. I just got to drop this. Let me make sure the volume is on. That man has 1 goal. Maybe he'll score tonight against... Actually... They got to beat Real Sociedad. Otherwise, we could see United versus Barcelona, Juventus, or Atletico. But people, have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Remember to smash the like button. Let's get it up to 40 likes if you haven't done so already. And have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world.